Hi guys, so we are going to go over these questions right here for number 4 and number 5 on Paloma's picture. This is packet 6 or week 6 for Tuesday, which is today. We're going to go through all of these questions right here, A through D, and then here for number 5, we're just going to go over A and B together. So we're going to start with letter A, which is 48 times 25 is equal to 24 times blank. So to figure this out, first, you need to make sure that both equations on both sides of the equal sign are equal, because that's what it means. It means this equal sign is saying that both answers for these two equations need to be the same. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what 48 times 25 is. So to do that, I'm going to draw my claw and I'm going to write it in expanded form. So 40 plus 8 is 48 times 25, which is 20 plus 5. And I'm going to figure out what that is equal to. So 40 times 5, 40 times 20, 40 times 5, 40 times 20. Then I'm going to do 8 times 5 and 8 times 20. 8 times 5, 8 times 20. So now that I have all of my equations that I need to solve, now I'm just going to solve them. 40 times 5 is 200. 40 times 20 is 800. 8 times 5 is 40. And 8 times 20 is 160. So now that I have all of my answers, I'm going to add those all up. 0, 4 plus 6 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. So I know now that 48 times 25 is equal to 1,200, which means now that this side also has to equal 1,200. So I'm going to take a look at what numbers they already gave me. 48 times 25 and then 24 times blank. I'm going to look at my first two values here, and I have 48 and 24. So looking at this, I can tell already, just thinking out loud, that 48 is 2 times bigger than 24. So because this number, 24, is half of 48, I'm going to take that and do the same to this number. So let me just write that over here, what I just said. So 48 divided by 24 is 2, which means that this number is 2 times bigger. But over here in this equation where we're missing a number, this 24 is 2 times smaller. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 to get this value over here. So I'm going to do 25 times 2, which is 50. So now I'm going to check my work, and I'm going to see if 24 times 50 is equal to the same amount as 48 times 25. Because I know, again, going back to this equal sign, that they have to be equal. So I'm going to go and do 24 times 50 now to see if that is equal to 1,200. So same thing, I'm going to write it in expanded form. 20 plus 4 times 50, which is 50 plus 0, because there's nothing in the ones place. I'm going to draw my claw, so 20 times 0, 20 times 50. And then 40 times 0, or 4 times 0, and 4 times 50. 20 times 0 is 0. I know 4 times 0 is also 0. 20 times 50 is 1,000. 1,000. And then 4 times 50 is 200. So again, just adding those together. 1,000 plus 200 equals 1,200. So both of them are equal, which means that this is correct. So 50 goes into this blank right here. Okay. So going down to letter B, let me just fold my paper so it's not confusing to us. So now we are going to try to figure out for this equation what's missing in this blank over here. So let me write out my problem so that I can write over it. $48 times something. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at both sides of my equation. Again, I see this equal sign, which tells me that both sides have to equal or be the same. So I'm going to see what's on this side of the equal sign on the left and see if anything has changed on the right. So I see 48 here, and I still see 48 here. So I know that this number is not a value that they've changed on this side of the equation, which means that they've done something to 29. Now I just have to figure out what that is. So over here I see times 29, but here I see times 30. So thinking out loud again, I know that 30 is one more than 29, which means over here they must have added 1 to make 30, which means this number right here has to be 1 to make this 29 and equal. So to check your work again, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 48 times 29. So 40 plus 8 times 29, 20 plus 9, 40 times 9, 40 times 20. And then 8 times 9, 8 times 20. So 40 times 9 is 360. 40 times 20 is going to be 800. 8 times 9, 72. And then 8 times 20 is 160. So again, add all those up to get our answer. 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. And then 7 plus 6 is 13. So 13 plus 14 is 27. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 5 plus 1 is 6. So our answer over here is 672. And then to check this side, you would do the same thing. Remember, parentheses tell us what to multiply first. So first you would need to find the answer for 48 times 30. And then you would need to subtract 48 times 1, which we know is 48. And then get your answer here. And if this answer is the same as 672, then, and they're both equal, then that means that our answer up here is correct. So you're going to do the same thing for this problem for letter C. And I'll take this paper away so you can better see it. So for letter C, it's basically the same thing. You're going to look over here at this problem on the equation on the left to see what has changed in the equations to the right. So over here on the left, I see 48 times 29. And over here, again, I still see my 48 is the same. So I know that 48 is not the value that they changed or split up in any way. It seems to be the 29. So now I need to think, what did they do to this 29? Over here I see 20, so now I need to think what value is missing over here to make it 29. Okay, and then to check my work again, you would go back and you would basically just multiply all of these values to see if they are equal, if both sides of the equal sign have the same answer. And then letter D. So this one is a little bit tricky. This one is 50 times 29 is equal to half of something times 29. So again, this equal sign means both answers should be the same on both sides for both of these equations. So the first thing I need to do is figure out what the answer to 50 times 29 is. So again, I'm going to use the claw. 50 plus 0 times 20 plus 9. 50 times 9, 50 times 20. And then 0 times 9, 0 times 20. I know these are both 0 right away because anything times 0 is 0. 50 times 9 is going to be 450. 50 times 20 is going to be 1,000. So now I'm just going to add them up, and it's 1,450. So now I know that anything over here needs to be equal to this same amount. So what they want you to do is they want you to cut a bigger number in half to equal this right here. So we already know that 50 times 29 is 1,450. So if we double this number, which is, if we double 50, 50 plus 50 is 100. Now we can check our answer to see if it's correct. Is half of 100 times 29 1,450? So what we can do to check that really quickly is we can just double this answer. 1,450 is 10. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we get 2,900. And we can already see that we've doubled it. So if we cut it in half again, we have the same answer, which is 1,450. So 100 works in this equation. So that's why 100 would go there for letter D. So down here, we're going to move on to number 5. For number 5, what you need to do here is solve both sides of the equation to figure out if it's true that they're equal or if it's false that they're not equal. So let's do letter A together. 16 times 17 equals 34 times 8. So now again, we're looking to see if this equation has the same answer as this equation. So 16 times 17 is 10 plus 6 times 10 plus 7. 10 times 7, 10 times 10. 6 times 7, 6 times 10. 10 times 7, 70. 10 times 10 is 100. 6 times 7 is 42. And then 6 times 10 is 60. And then add them all up. 2, 13, 17. 272. So we know now that 16 times 17 is 272, which means if it's true, if this equation, this whole equation is true, that means this also has to equal 272. So to check that, we have to multiply 34 times 8. So we're going to do expanded form, 30 plus 4 times 8, and we're going to just multiply. since 8 is alone and it's not a double digit. We don't have to write anything else to write it in expanded form. So 8 times 30, 8 times 4. So 8 times 30 is 240, and then 8 times 4 is 32. And it's equal. So both of these have the same answers, which means letter A for number 5 is true because both equations have the same answer. Now we're going to go to letter B. Letter B is 39 times 8 equals 40 times 8 minus 1. So again, to see whether or not these are true or false, we need to make sure that we actually solve both of those equations. So first we're going to solve 39 times 8. So 30 plus 9 times 8. And we're just going to multiply. 8 times 30 and then 8 times 9. 8 times 30 is 240. 8 times 9 is 72. Add them together. 7 plus 4 is 11. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 312 is what this is equal to. Now we're going to do this side to see if we get the same answer. So 40 times 8 is equal to 320. And then we have to take this minus 1. So these parentheses here tell us that this is the part of the equation that we have to do first. That's what parentheses are for, grouping numbers together and telling us that that's part of the equation that we do first. So 40 times 8 is 320. And then we have to subtract 1 because we still have this minus 1 here. So 320 minus 1 is 319. So these clearly are not the same answer. 312 is not equal to 319. So letter B for number 5 is false. They are not equal. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for the rest of the letters C and D, solving both equations on both sides of the equal sign to see if they both come out with the same answer. If they come out with the same answer, then it's true. If they don't come out with the same answer, just like letter B didn't, that means it is false.